Hey, welcome to Big with BR. My name is Roos, and I do enjoy gardening and planting and those type of things. Ever since COVID, I got my hands into landscaping around the house. So I had watched a local YouTube channel by a gentleman. The channel is called HortTube by Jim Putnam. Really good gardening show, and he had done a recent episode with a not landscaper, with a nursery called Juniper Gardens. They actually specialize in really rare plants, and during the episode on YouTube with Jim Putnam, the HortTube channel, they did this episode on a plant called Agave, and I had noticed when I'm around town and stuff. I've seen some businesses having these in their yards, or excuse me, their landscape. And so this is like from what I've gathered, it's like a desert type of plant, a plant in a very dry environment, very prickly, has these thorns on it. I think it likes dry conditions, almost like a cactus, succulent family. I'm definitely not an expert on these things, but what was really cool is I saw the episode on his show, and I decided to give it a try. I at first tried to shop on it on Amazon, and I looked in different places and really couldn't find a good price, or I couldn't even tell if they were real or if there was just who knows where it was coming from. And so I ended up after watching the show, I came across the Juniper Gardens website, plantdelights.com, and I was checking out their prices, and I just thought it was really reasonable, and so I decided to pull the trigger. And really simple process. You just go to their website, you order your plant, and then they'll let you know when it's ready for either delivery or you can pick it up. I opted to pick it up because their shipping is a little bit expensive, and they mention it's expensive on their website. They know it's expensive. But so they gave the option to pick it up, and I'm not too far from it, so I decided to go and pick it up. And what was really cool when I got home, I noticed that in the pot they gave me, there was the main plant, which I put in the ground. I'll show you here in a few moments. But there's a little baby one inside of it, so I took it out and I repotted it. I'm gonna try to keep it dry and see how it goes. But also near the bottom of the pot, the original pot, this guy right here was sticking out of it. It was almost like it was trying to branch up into a whole nother agave. This particular variety, I think it's an Agave Americano. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. And I think it's a special variety. I think they called it Marshmallow. Or I might be saying it wrong. But to Plant Delights or to Juniper Gardens, they did tell me it's not really made for our zone. I think this is a 9A zone. We're about I'm in North Carolina, so we're about a 7. Where I'm at, it's about a 7B, 8. So I said to myself, for the money, it was a very fair price. The experience of picking it up was really easy, and it's a great place to explore for their garden tours. I decided to go ahead and take the bigger one, put it in the ground, and see how it does in my garden, or my landscape, my property. And I think these things get pretty big. They get about, this particular variety, I think can get almost like maybe 5 to 6 feet in height, just that much more in width. Because they're rather sharp, you don't want them around kids. You don't want them around places where people would walk closely to them. They need a lot of sun and somewhere that the water runs off really quick, that they can dry out. So let me take you and show you where I put the main one in the property. And these two I got out of the same pot. Maybe next year they'll get bigger and get better, and I can do some other things with them. Okay, so here is the main plant I got from Plants Delight, and I decided to put it in the yard. So this is like a ditch area. It actually is a ditch, and so the water here runs off really well. I didn't really do anything special to the soil. I just loosened it up. I watch a lot of the HortTube stuff. Jim Putton, and he gives a lot of great advice on how to put them into the ground. I loosened it up. I did put some compost in there because this part of the ditch is it's really sandy. The water really just runs off. It doesn't. There's just a gravel driveway next to it. There's no other plants in the area. It gets nothing but just complete sunlight. I put a little bit of pine straw just to keep the rain from washing the dirt around it. I put some rocks around it just to see how it turns out. So again, this is a plant that I did get. You can see it's a very nice plant. And again, I was able to get 2 little pups off of it. Hopefully they both turn out to be pretty good. Again, this is an agave from Plants to Light. Has the thorns. It's like a desert plant from what I've gathered. It can handle very little rain. So the beauty of that is where I'm at, if it doesn't rain for a period of time, I don't have to worry about dragging the hose out to it. So if you enjoy these unique type of plants, Jim Putman does a great episode where he goes to juniper gardens and he shows one and how large they get. And so I took their advice and I bought one and I put it in, and hopefully it turns out. And I'm pretty excited about it. So if you're into these plants too, you like to do gardening, definitely check out his episode, give it a chance, and we'll see how it goes. I think during winter time is where things will get interesting. But in North Carolina, for where I'm at, it doesn't get too cold, and this is on a hill, so I'm hoping the moisture during the winter won't be a problem. And worst case, maybe I might even cover it a little bit during the winter to try to protect it, at least until it gets a little bit bigger. I think once it gets in here, I think it'll be fine. And if we have a hot summer, from what I was reading on Plant Delight's website, they said if you have a really strong summer, and these plants love that, it actually will help them further into the winter. Even if temperatures get low, it'll make them more resilient to the winter. So, and we don't tend to have mild summers. We tend to have pretty hot summers. So I'm thinking of being a good place for this. I think this plant, they also refer to as a century plant. Sometimes it flowers, sometimes anywhere from like 15 to 20 years. When they flower, from what I've researched and watched, the plant dies, and then normally you would be done with it. But if it gives off pups or gives off little babies, I will definitely collect those and try to put them in other places in the yard, and maybe even give them away. So again, thanks for watching. I hope this helps you if you were thinking about the agave. The agaves are nice. I'm noticing them more throughout North Carolina, and Juniper Gardens has them. Plantdelights.com. You can order from them, or you can pick it up if you're local and save on the shipping costs. So thanks for watching.